Hello folks, hope we're all well. I'm not really properly set up yet, so bear with me a moment. I'm just gonna do that now. I hope that's working. It doesn't look like it's gone live. Oh, it has gone live, there you go. Okay, I'm gonna jump on that. Whisky Saurus, hot dog, two others, good to see you all. Thanks for joining in. Probably ruined my stream now. Knocked the camera, anyway. See where that's ended up. Joel Man, Whiskey Man, Sam. Joel, that's you, Joel. Hope you're well. Whiskey Saurus, hope you're well. Sam, hope you're well. Hope your challenge is making it further and further out into the wild now, which is he challenged me to a dram of whiskey and a dram of gin, and boom boom. And I don't recommend it. Let's put it that way. Okay. That's one way of saying, yeah, it's okay. David Greaves joined, good to see you. It's Friday night. It's still quarantine time. Quarantine, it's still isolation times. The less you go out at the moment, the better. Never have been a stranger time to be alive, in my opinion. What a strange time we're living in. Always that message of, support bars and support communities and get out there and get out and about. I reckon we're going to see a huge surge of that again once this all blows over. We're going to see everyone wanting to finally get out of their houses and engage with communities and engage with events and everything that goes on around the place, which is going to be great when that does happen, because we're going to need it. We're going to need that people time, that focus again, that not isolation. I mean, I'm just social distancing at the moment. If I need to go to the shops, I'm going to the shops, but I'm trying to minimize the number of times I'll get groceries. And I went to the post office today, which was nerve-wracking enough. Everyone's got plastic screens. Everyone's got I noticed even the Harris Farm that I shop at has big plastic dividers between the staff and the customers now, and it's card only, all that kind of stuff. It's all for the best reason. I just never thought I'd see it like this. It's just mental. It's been so many changes, and what a week we've had. What a week. Anyway. Dr. Badger, is that your connection or mine? Can anyone else comment and let me know if they're having trouble viewing my stream? Yes or no? Can I get a bit of a broader consensus? Anyone else want to comment on that? Let me know, because that's really frustrating if it is. I can restart live if easiest. That's because everyone is home on a Friday night. Yeah, looks good here. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, sorry. It depends where you are. Depends on where you are. It depends on your internet. Friends of mine who live just out on the outskirts of the city are getting at best 1 megabit download and 0.1 megabit upload. So they're getting sort of really terrible speeds at the moment. Everyone's using the internet on a Friday night, it looks like. So that's going to happen. No, actually, my Wi-Fi is better than my 4G at the moment, Joel, which is surprising. Normally 4G is the ripper, but I've got the full speed pack NBN here for work. So but at the moment the NBN is actually better than 4G, which doesn't happen very often. Let's talk a little bit about I've talked about whiskey all week. I had a great chat for those who missed out on Wednesday night. Had a great chat with Andrew Durbidge, our cellar master, in here at this desk, talking about his journey in whiskey, talking about a couple of drams from Outturn. We talked about 93.120 cocoa and coal, and 55.57 digging up ginger. So we talked about two great whiskies. I'm not going to talk about whiskey tonight. I'm going to talk about an Armagnac. This one came out a while ago. I don't think we've got any left. Actually, we might have some left. You'd be surprised. You do actually find some older Armagnacs languishing on sort of the third page of our shop. So always worth checking out what gets pushed down the list a bit and it gets forgotten. Because sometimes things like this, these gems come up and it's like, oh wow. The reason why this is so interesting is A5. I love the A4s, I love the A2s, had a couple of A3s, etc. Haven't seen much of it out of A5. A5.3, so the third ever. Fully loaded sweet trolley. Now the first thing that struck me as like ridiculous about this was the proof. 65.0% ABV. So many Armagnacs are in that sort of 41 to 48%. Because they're all single distilled. That's the main difference between Armagnac and Cognac to begin with. And it's the type of casks used are different as well. Let's pour a little bit of that. Just a tiny bit. Just a nosing amount tonight. pop that there so you can see it. Okay, well, I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, just a nosing amount just to have a... Oh, how good is that? Fully loaded sweet trolleys, right? It's so thick on the nose. It's like lanolin and banoffee pie. That is a proper after dinner digestive, if you like. It's no, after dinner aperitif, I should say. Digestive is before dinner, but still, it's the sentiment's the same. It's a very thick, very viscous. Look at that. Look at, I don't know if you can see that on camera. The spirit is absolutely clinging to the glass there. It's not even dropping. Just, it's like so oily. So, some of the differences about, see now I'm going to have an A4 tonight, hardship. The colour is immense as well. The colour is positively ruby. You know what? I still reckon these Armagnacs are criminally underrated. And some of the most, I'm just bewildered. Perfectly clean, polished glass, and it's just gluing to the edges. It's not even dropping down like you often see in other spirits. I'm bewildered by that. Anyway, it's very it doesn't nose like 65%, and I haven't had anything to drink yet. So it's like, normally that 65% will be a real prickle on the nose, a real sort of, and you've got to sort of water it down. I don't add water generally to Armagnac or Cognac. I find it doesn't really open up in the way you want it to, generally speaking. It's adding water to something like whiskey is a bit different story. But adding it to Armagnac or Cognac, I find it just sort of mutes the experience rather than lets out any of the ethanols. Okay. That's so what's the difference between tonight's A and a Cognac icon? Well, okay. So some of the differences you see between Armagnac and Cognac are strictly this. I mean, not strictly, but they include like things might be like the grape varietals are different, the cask types are different, and the distillation is a little bit different. So they're all they are minor differences though. Like so, Cognac is closer to whiskey in production. So Cognac is double distilled wine, like wine grapes through, and in the case of Armagnac, there's 4 different grape varietals they use and they often distill them separately and then blend them into a cask. Sometimes they're distilled at the same time, but the best houses, like these guys, like A4, A5, and a few others, they distill them separately and blend them together. So they blend the spirits and then they mature them in oak casks. Baco, Folle Blanche, Colombard, and Ugna Blanc are the 4 main grape varietals. Off the top of my head, I think it's Ugna Blanc is the most popular type of grape varietal, that's like 70% or 65 or 70% of all Armagnac. And then it's you see sometimes Colombard and Baco is pretty big, and Folle Blanche is the second smallest, I think. So you've got sort of like a different range of grapes that they use to distill Armagnac, and it's often alembic style stills. It's basically this still that's a single distillation run, and the shape of the actual pot on that bottom, on the sort of the spirit still side of it, if you like, it looks like a suitcase. It's kind of like a really strange shaped stills, and sometimes they're stills which have been travelled between distilleries. So they actually move the stills around, like a farmer will book a distiller to come and distill grape. So it's very cool. It's very it's a very farmyardy way of making spirit, and it's also a very generational, has had generational expertise at most of these wineries, and so there's yes, I mean A5 is a young distillery by contemporary standards. This one was distilled in 1997. I'm pretty sure A5 was founded only in something like 1972 or something. It's a young distillery, where some Armagnac distilleries that date back, of course, to the early 1800s and late 1800s and all sorts of timelines. I'm the first to admit I don't know my Armagnac history as well as I do sort of like whiskey history around the world, but this Armagnac history it's quite fascinating still. It's got a lot of cool stories behind it. Happy Whiskey Day. Yeah, happy whiskey and happy birthday to Whisky Alement. Yes, today, what day is it? Oh, it's Friday. Tomorrow, here's the sad thing. Tomorrow would have been Whisky Alament's 10th anniversary party. No, today Today. God, what am I talking about? I thought it was Saturday. Sorry, Friday. Friday night tonight would have been Whisky and Ailment's. I'm losing track of days because if you're self-isolating a bit, if you're keeping away from people and things, the events that you had planned to be at, and I had planned to already be at there, I would have been there right now, in fact. So that's really disappointing. So I know that Andrew right now would have been hosting. In fact, right now at 9-ish o'clock, Andrew would be hosting right now at the Royal Automobile Club. He'd be about on the last dram somewhere, or second last dram. And me, I'd be at Whisky and Ailment celebrating their 10th anniversary before the Melbourne cruise tomorrow. So it's today, their 10th anniversary of Whisky and Ailment. So if you're at home right now, if you're self-isolating, if you're enjoying a dram somewhere at the moment, if we can just raise a dram, and if you've got a 68.18 kicking around instead, raise that. That was their cask from last year, the Triple Berry Lamington cake. This is for you, Brooke, Jules, and the whole team. Lockie, Miranda, Emma, Evan, Shane, and I don't want to miss anyone, but I think and Austin. I think I know I'm going to forget. Look, it's and Maddie, and yes, look, the whole team at Whisky and Ailment, Brooke and Jules, you guys are the best. I really wish you all the best, and we're all going to be getting through all this together. So happy 10th year anniversary. I'm really sorry it's not being celebrated tonight, but you know what? Once this all blows over, once we've flattened the curve, I guarantee you we are as a nation, as a whiskey drinking community, I should say, we are definitely going to make up for it, and we are going to party like it's 1999 at Whisky and Ailment, but in fact in 2020. You know what? That's the long and the short of it. So raise a dram for Whisky and Ailment. I said Maddie, man. Sam, I said Maddie. Sorry, I did. But yes, raise a dram for the whole team there. Great team that work there and run that place. It's an absolute family of a team there, and they have good banter and great whiskey, as you know, and that's all you could ask for. So forced closures, as you know, and I can confidently say that every single partner bar of ours at the moment is closed. It's not just our partner bars, of course, all the bars in Victoria, New South Wales, South Australia, Queensland, etc., they're all in shutdown. So that's just the worst ever. That's just awful. Anyway, 85.3, let's raise it around for Whisky and Ailment. Let me grab some of these comments. Everyone get on and buy one of the WNA Boilermaker packs. Yes, if you live in Victoria, Whisky and Ailment are doing little whiskey pouches for their mailing list for those who want to jump on that. I really recommend checking them out. They've got some interesting packs, and they are going to have some society ones very shortly, I believe, but we're working on that at the moment with them. Thanks, Doctor. # Team Deputy. A few of us are doing virtual drinks after your stream. We'll raise a glass. Good, I won't make the stream too long, then it'll give you a chance to jump on and have a few drinks with some friends. I just pulled my A4, 22-year-old, 102nd digit. Very quick. Okay, David Greaves asked a very good question. David's got a bottle of A4, just A4. There's no number at the end after it. That was a very unique bottling because that was the 4th ever Armagnac that Society had bottled. Now, back when the Society started doing Armagnacs, and the exact year that they started doing them, I'm going to say 1997, 98 was when they first bottled the first Armagnacs. I'm not entirely sure on that, but I'll have to double check. Maybe been a bit earlier, actually, maybe in like 92. No, it wasn't 92, it was definitely after 95. So it was either 96 or 97, I think it was the first Armagnacs bottled by the Society. That would have been A1, and then A2, A3, A4. Now, the reason why they did it like that is because they didn't expect there to be, they didn't expect the coding system to translate over to Armagnacs. They weren't really a focus point for the Society. They thought they'd just be sort of like, this is the 4th Armagnac, so this is A4. And it was from the 4th distillery that they'd worked with in sourcing a single cask Armagnac. You've got to remember back then as well that these are not single cask whiskey. Was rare for back then when the Society started in 83, sorry. It was even rarer, single cask Armagnac. Let alone finding Armagnac was hard enough. Single cask Armagnac was just, well, that doesn't exist. It simply does not exist. And so it was the role of the Society to change that and to forged that path, and I thought that was amazing. In fact, there was a great moment. I'm going to share this one with you. No one would know this one. There was a great moment where, or maybe some of you would, I'm not sure, but Pip Hills, the original founder of the society, he caught up with the team and myself and a few others over at the Vaults last year, and as a special token of thanks for him coming in and doing an interview, they came and catching up with the team. They gave him a bottle of Society Armagnac, and I think it was an A4.1. And they passed him the bottle, and he looked at it, and it said the word Armagnac across the front of the bottle, like that one does there. And he looked at it and said, "Oh, is this an Armagnac?" And Kai, no, Richard at the time said, "Yes, it's an Armagnac." And he said, "Oh, that's a tremendous idea. I wish I'd thought of it." Because it wasn't something that he was a part of because I think he left the society in 94 or 95. I'll have to double check that date. But he saw it and he thought, "Gee, that's a marvelous idea. Why wasn't anyone else doing this?" And it's true, even now, single cask Armagnac is hen's teeth. Like, yeah, you can find heaps of blended Armagnac on the market now, and it's all 40%, and some of it's very lovely. And actually some of it's fantastic, but it's just like it's finding single cask Armagnac that hasn't been diluted and hasn't been blended and hasn't been vatted altogether is very uncommon. So here we go. So David, I hope that answers your question, David Greaves. Sorry, it was a bit of a long-winded answer, but the answer is the society never really thought to number them as we do now when we were first doing them. It was the same with the rums. There was like rum number 1 and rum 2 and things like that. And then if you remember, even more recent history, C1, the first ever cognac that we bottled, was just C1 on the label. There wasn't any like C1.1, and the second cognac was C1.2. So they they fixed it up after that, and they thought that we fixed the error in our ways of our numbering system, which has never been perfect, but it's always been a way to sort of obscure the distillery so we can source the best casks and you're not encumbered by marketing. So Calby says, need to organise shipping interstate and we'll jump on it. They can't do that, Calby. We ship it obviously everywhere, as you know, but Whisky Element's license doesn't allow for them to ship those pouches around the country. However, as a stopgap to that, as a way to help you out with that, we have got the gathering tasting kit as well as sample kit, but we've also got some other sample kits which we're making in market here for our members, which will be announced very shortly. There's some special kits coming. There'll be some recent drams. There'll be a festivals kit we're working on, things like that, just to try and get us through this this period of self-isolation. I heard about an app in America that's allowing people to tip bartenders even though the bars aren't open. That's a really cool idea, Joel. And I've seen quite a few industry bodies as well, like Diageo and Pernod Ricard, pledging quite large amounts of money and sometimes not quite large amounts of money to the bar industry and the bartenders trade union over there. That's fantastic. So that's hopefully helping it all along. I think whatever happens, we'll get through this. It's, day by day at the moment. You have a seat on Gaucho, I know you do. And people putting some money away for every dram that they have at home and donate it to a bartender association. Cool idea as well. Maybe everyone can do that. If we all just put even just $5 away or something each time you have a dram, you know what? You'll probably drink less before sending yourself broke. But if you're in a position to be able to support any of your favourite bars in any way, buy some of their pouches at Whisky Alement. See what actually a lot of bars, even not just partner bars, but a lot of bars around Australia are doing things like they're doing takeaway cocktails. They're doing on-premise liquor sales. They're doing so. If you've got a hole in your pocket, if you've got a money burning a hole in your pocket is the phrase, and you want to still be able to support your bars and you are able to, check out what they're doing. They're often doing something interesting instead. Some of them have closed, but some of them are doing interesting things in instead of. Hartwood Taz, good to see you. I don't know if that's you, Louis, or Tim, but good to see you. I think it's Tim. Schmitty, good to see you. The List, good to see you. Armagnac book recommendations. I've got a great book on Armagnac. I'd have to find it. The title actually escapes me this very second. it's called something like, it's got like a green cover, and it's a really old book. It's like a proper old school Armagnac book written by C.E. Page, if anyone wants to look that up. C.E.P.A.G.E. Great book on Armagnac you can read. Yeah. Hey Joey, how's the Miyagikyo, Tim? Always excellent. What are you drinking, Tim? What are you drinking? Are you drinking a 124 or you just drinking some Korean Miyagikyo? What are you drinking? Flymish John, good to see Flymish. Never bad, hey, says Joel. Hey Rob, look at all these people. Look, Habio, good to see you. I've had this 68.18 opening up into glass for a good hour now. Very glad I put it in. Delicious and jammy. Luscious and jammy. Yeah, jammy was a good word for that. That's where the flavour profile came from Jules. It was a jammy dram, that one. It was young. It was a 7-year-old deep rich and dried fruits. It was a heavily charred cask. It was a heavy charred ex-bourbon hogshead, which actually befuddled some members, believe it or not, into thinking, why would it then be in the deep rich and dried fruits profile? I remember getting a message when that came out saying, how is that deep rich and dried fruits if it's an ex-bourbon hogshead? Aren't all deep rich and dried fruits from ex-port, ex-sherry, ex-wine? And I had to explain in very simple detail that the flavour profile that we assign to a cask is not determined based on the cask type or ex-seasoning usage. Or ex-usage of that cask. We've had deep rich and dried fruits in bourbon casks. We've had young and sprightly or light and delicate in ex-sherry casks. If anyone remembers recently, we had a cask that was 80 dot something, 80, my brain, 80.12 or something, the code was on. It was a 7-year-old second fill sherry cask, and it was in the light and delicate. So the cask does not determine the flavour profile. It's the flavour that determines the flavour profile. Sent you a photo. Not going to survive isolation with Junior H. Oh dear, oh dear. I'm looking forward to seeing that photo. I haven't seen it yet. I'll have a look in a moment. Speaking of books, Emmanuel John's Whisky Encyclopedia is incredible. So much rich knowledge from pre-2000 whiskey. Yeah, Sable Scotch, I'm going to totally agree. If you've got about $800 to burn on a book, then that's the one. I don't actually own a copy. I've contemplated getting one, but it's quite an expensive book. And I've seen it. I've picked a copy up, and a friend of mine's got one. I've read through some of his. But it's I've always just been a bit like, it's like $700 or $800 for a book, and it's fascinating history though in it of especially pre-2000. That's a good word for it. I don't think it goes any further than that. I can't remember. I think that's where it's like just 20th century whiskey or something. It has got some actually fascinating Australian history. Talks about the Gillies Club, talks about Laird's Club, talks about a few sort of Aussie clubs that started up and really forged the whiskey scene in Australia as we know it today, which is a large part of Gillies Club was. A large part was people like Norman Case, a large part of people like David Lecornu. There's a whole bunch of names that I could list off, but there's a fascinating history. Even our Cellarmaster Andrew's written about that, the pioneers of the Australian whiskey industry article on Whisky and Wisdom. Worth checking out Whisky and Wisdom. He writes some great stuff. I'm sure a lot of you already read it. That's great. We've written about it a bit on the SMWS side as well. Not as much detail as he's gone into though. Jonathan Lai, good to see you, Jonathan. So there you go. 30 to 1 minute bike talk. Yeah. Oh, the bike thing I uploaded earlier, the story on our story. I've got a motorcycle ride tomorrow morning called Boozy Riders, as we call it. It's people who work in the booze trade who we like to go for a motorcycle ride. So anyone who works in booze who wants to come for a motorbike ride, it's like it doesn't happen frequently. It's a couple of times a year, I think, when the weather is good and people can be stuffed. But it's good. I've got my Triumph that I'm going to take out for a spin tomorrow morning. I was getting cleaned up and making sure that it actually started. I always have troubles with that bike, so it's got a battery in it right now, which is nice. Means it'll probably run tomorrow, which is good. If it makes it the whole way through tomorrow, it's even better. Look, I'm going to leave it there for now. Not a big one tonight, just a 20-25 minute stream, just talking about a few things. Enjoying a bit of A5.3 here. A nice, thick, viscous Armagnac. I'm raising a dram tonight to Whisky Alement. It's their 10th anniversary tonight. Their ideas for celebrating tonight, the plan for tonight would have been, they were opening the bar at 4 p.m. as usual. Now, normally they close the bar, midnight, 1 a.m., depending on the crowd. They were going to do original hours on this night. They were going to go from 4 p.m. to 5 a.m. So before Whisky and Alement was sort of Whisky and Alement, it was a bar called Chez Regine, and then it turned into Whisky and Alement. And they shifted focus a bit, shifted the name, gave it a redesign, but it was called Chez Regine originally. And Chez Regine was kept those hours. They used to do, I think, 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. till 5 a.m. And they are one of the few bars left in the state who have held on to their 5, 6 a.m. license. Imagine today getting a 6 a.m. Liquor license. It's ridiculous. It's very cool though, very cool. So they've got that, and they were going to go back to original hours from tonight, and they were going to have all these old staff members who have previously moved on do a superstar shift at the bar. So looking forward to it. I was also looking forward to our Melbourne Whiskey Cruise, which would have been tomorrow. But that's the way things go. We've had to cancel all our events, and we've had to postpone them until it is safe to do so again. What a crazy world we're living in. Let me grab some of these questions. Do you ever get a Plato note in ex-bourbon but low in age? Plato. I have got a Plato note on some whiskies before, but I don't know if it's just exclusively young bourbon casks. I do get sort of a doughy note on some of them, which is often the case of a. Normally you get that doughy note on a hogshead more than a barrel because of the greater spirit interaction, I guess. Sorry, lesser spirit interaction with a bigger cask, and sometimes that gives it. I feel like some refill hoggies have a doughy note to them. That can happen, but I don't see it that often. It's more to do with spirit character rather than doughy notes. And if you do get that, it might be the case of the distillery profile more so than the age or type of cask it is. Salty and doughy, Cal. To me, it's like homemade Play-Doh. Yeah, okay. SMWS UK, John, good to see you. I can see where you get that from. Okay. Kelvin Tam, Whiskey Priest. What a guy. Kelvin Tam is with the SMWS. Hey, Kelvin, good to see you, mate. And yes, he's Hong Kong Macau branch, I think. Yeah, so here we go. Tuned in twice, Kelv. So there we go. That was talking a little bit about Armagnac tonight. As for those who don't know, I go live on our Instagram here every single day. I have been doing so for just under a year now, or just over a year. I have to check. And most of the streams get put up to our YouTube channel later on the same night as well. But we also do some special streams every so often on our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/SMWS Australia. Just ask to join the group and I'll add you in. Myself or Andrew or any of the mods will add you in. Always a great community to chat with people about what's going on in whiskey, in the society, in events, in what you're drinking, what you're enjoying. Obviously, the next big Facebook one will be the 20th of April, which is the live stream with the Gathering Tasting Kit, the 20th of April. So if you don't have a Gathering Tasting Kit yet, there it is. Jump on that. They're $99 with free shipping. So you just use the code GATHERING. Use the code GATHERING for $15 off, which gets you the free shipping. It's easier for us to do it that way on the site. That's the way it goes. And I hope to see you at that one, of course, but I'll be going live every night between now and then anyway. Let me grab one last few questions. Saturday Night Live. Yeah, I'll be doing it live tomorrow as well, Cal. It might be in the afternoon. So the weekend streams are going to be a bit more impromptu. Normally I'm between 8 and 8:30 most nights here, but the weekend streams I'm going to keep impromptu. Maybe not right at 8, but I might do like an afternoon one or something. Bit of a chat with you all. So I've also got a friend coming around tomorrow who I know is in good health, so he's okay, and he's bringing something special for us to have a dram of, so we might do a quick stream together. See how he feels about that. I haven't told him about it yet. Thank you so much there, Kelvin. Robert asks, any new Armagnac distillery codes expected? Yes, there are. In fact, they're hitting bottling plant as early as next week over in the UK, which then, of course, starts the process of it being warehoused and allocated and then shipped and then arriving and then on outturn. So fair few months away. But yes, there's new codes in the barrel. Same for C codes. Some new C codes are coming through as well. So C's and A's, plenty of those coming through. A couple of R's as well. A couple of R's, not too many R's at the moment. Maybe 1 or 2 casks this year. We often go in waves. We had a lot of rums last year. With a few rums there will be lesser rums this year, but we'll see a few more A's and C's coming through, which is exciting. From about September, I think it was. Okay. I should be in Orange for Wine Week right now for 10 days. Non-stop booze in the whiskey bar called Washington Co. Yeah, that's the dream. I've got an empty one, ordered a fresh one. Yeah, use that code, guys. Use the code. Yes, the gathering itself was September, October last year. But the whole lot of this, because we featured so many whiskies at so many events during the gathering, the kits weren't overly popular. We got a lot of them, and we've got a lot left. Oh, not that actually many left. I think like 40 sold in the last week. So if you want to grab one of these, now's a good time to jump on that. Because we're going to... I've opened this up before, but there you go. We're going to do a live stream and run through these live. If you can't catch up on the Monday, the 20th of April, it's a Monday night. Most people are going to be home anyway, regardless of quarantines. But if you're even if you got one before, grab another one. If you don't want to watch it then, you can watch it later. Of course, it'll be up the street. You can watch it in your own leisure. But you get to ask questions if we do it live. Any bees? Yes. Also, not a bottling hall yet, Cal, but they're on their way. We'll work through it. His chaps, Arvo streaming your leathers. No, but I might do a few sneaky Instagram stories from tomorrow. Not whilst riding, but when we do little pit stops maybe, because it's all booze trade people. You'll probably recognise a bunch of them. You will recognise a bunch of them. The Cast Collective joined. Good to see you. Brick joined. We're just about to finish up. Scott Brickhill. Hope you're well, mate. Happy Friday night to you. I hope you're staying well and quarantined. Cars Collective join, good to see you. I would love to do it, but I think I need to put 100 towards bottles. Yeah, sure. I mean, Joel, whatever works. I mean, you know what? Even if you don't get the pack, just join on that Monday night anyway. Join on that Monday night and enjoy a few drams of this. Like, just, even if you're dramming at home and whatever you've got, ask some questions along the way. Yes, we'll be talking about those whiskies, but it doesn't mean you can't join in the fun. Because, if you look at Wednesday night stream, if you watch that one that I did with Andrew, it's on our Facebook group and on our YouTube channel as of tonight. It's just a hoot. It's so much fun. So if I can get Andrew along for that one as well, I will. We're going to play that by ear if they do full lockdowns and anything by then. We don't know. There's 20 days away still or so. So, we don't know. Robert asks, how was doing a shot of SMWS? Rob, I've got no idea what you're talking about, mate. I didn't see that on our stories, so wouldn't know. So there you go. What a wind-up, right? What a wind-up. Oh, that's turned way more into fruit now. A proper, big, moldy fruit basket. Isn't that marvellous? Isn't that what it should be? Truly marvellous on it. I'm going to let that sit, and I'm going to leave you be. Everyone, I hope you're all having the tropics sweats out most of the viruses. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for your questions. Have a great Friday night, everyone. I'm going to call it a week, and I'll see you all tomorrow at some point. We'll be doing a live. The time of which will probably be announced only 10 to 30 minutes before it happens. But really, I'll go live impromptu at some point tomorrow. Keep an eye on your Instagram. And of course, if you've been watching this on YouTube, please click the subscribe button, and I will see you all tomorrow. Cheers.